Welcome back to No Sticks, No Bricks. We made it to Texas, but we've got a problem with our RV again, and this time we're dead in the water until it gets fixed. And we're going to tell you about it right after this. Alright, so we made it to Whitney, Texas. We were originally going to stay at Lake Whitney Thousand Trails, but once we got there, we discovered the roads are absolutely terrible. It's like driving on Mars or something, or the moon. There's potholes everywhere. They couldn't get us next to each other, even though we called like last week and they said, oh yeah, no problem. Once you get here, we'll get you next to each other. Won't be an issue. Well, once we arrived, they're like, oh, we can't get you next to each other. So we audibled again and went right down the road like 2 miles away, and we're at the Palms at Lake Whitney. This is a 4-year-old RV park, so it's in pretty good shape. It's pretty empty too, look at this. But it's all concrete, pull-through sites in the middle, back-end sites, but look how big these sites are. They've got some nice concrete on both sides and up there for extra parking, so yeah. Pretty nice. Now, for those of you that are about to comment, that's not camping. No kidding. We're not camping, we're living. Don't forget that. When you are full-time, the game changes a little bit. We used to just boondock all the time, and now we're hookup whores. You got to remember, this is our home, and when you're on concrete and stuff like this, it's a lot less dirt you track in, and sand, and all these little goat heads that are here. If it rains, it doesn't turn to mud and cause a big mess. So yeah, I'll take concrete living, but we still do like to do some boondocking and, you know, be out in the woods and actually camp every now and again too, but not this time. But when we got here, we did have a problem. For those of you that are new to the channel, we've got a 2025 Fleetwood Discovery 40M, and we're having an issue with our leveling jacks. When we got here, our right front jack just would not go down. Let me show it to you. As you can see, it's still not down. All 3 other ones are down, but not that little guy right there. And we've had that one replaced already under warranty, and for some reason we're having issues with it again. So when we got here, the right front jack wouldn't come down. A lot of times we can just cycle it, or we retract all the jacks, re-auto level, then retract the jacks, re-auto level, whatever we got to do, and it'll eventually come down and we'll level and we're fine. Not this time. So we did try that, and the right front jack just would not go down no matter what. And then all of a sudden we got an error message on the Lippert saying no voltage to the pump. All right, I'm gonna show you that here, but in order to activate the jacks, you have to have power from the coach. So even though it's plugged in, I still either have to start it or just put it in accessories mode here, so, or on. So once you turn it to on without starting the engine, you can come up here and turn on the power to the leveling jacks. But watch this. Pump, power, error, return lever to service. And normally you can reset this by hitting enter and retract at the same time and holding him. But as you'll see, nothing happens when you reset it. I've tried over and over and over and over. I've tried going into manual. Absolutely no other button works whatsoever. It's just locked up. So let me shut this off. The only bad part about is now my steps are gonna go in. So now I gotta lock these steps out. Because if you don't forget that part, which I have done before, that's a really big first step if you're expecting the steps to be there and they're not. So make sure you lock those back out. So now we're dead in the water. Jacks won't go up. Jacks won't go down, we can't move, we're stuck. Luckily, we're here for a week, and we just got here, obviously, when we had the jack problems. So we have a week to get this figured out. And so yesterday, Clay, my buddy Clay from our Road Less Travel, and I were troubleshooting it, doing some voltage checks, trying to figure out what was going on, and we got it figured out. So let me show you what the problem is. So my first call was to Fleetwood, because I figured there must be some kind of fuse or a resettable breaker or something between the pump, which is right here. There's the leveling pump. So my first thing I did was check voltage here to see if there's any voltage. No voltage whatsoever. And so I knew we had a power problem, obviously, but I could not find anything between the pump and the batteries as far as a resettable breaker or a fuse or anything. There is a little inline fuse right here. However, that ohm checked good. I even put another fuse in it just in case, and it was fine. Nothing's wrong with it. I called Fleetwood right away to find out where this thing is located, if there is even one, and I left them a voicemail. They were busy. So while I'm waiting for them to call me back, I call Lippert, the manufacturer of the leveling system, and actually got someone on the phone, and they told me, and this is the problem you're going to run into when you have a coach that's built by multiple manufacturers. A lot of people have their hands in this, so a lot of times they're not on the same page. They told me there was a resettable fuse from the chassis battery over to the pump. Okay, so there's the pump. Come over to this side. These are the two chassis batteries right here, okay? Those are lead acid batteries. I have not changed these out at all. I went to lithium for the house batteries, which are here. There's our Redodo lithium batteries. So they said it should be on the positive side, coming off the chassis batteries, between chassis batteries and the pump. So that's what I started hunting for. But as you can see, all these wires, they get buried way up into no man's land, and I just couldn't trace them any further because they went into wire bundles and they're covered in chafe wrap. Just can't get access to them. So we're underneath the RV with flashlights trying to chase these wires to see if we can find one that's buried up under there somewhere. No luck. And about that time, Fleetwood called back and said, no, it's not connected to your chassis batteries, it's connected to your house batteries. Well, it's a whole different system. What we discovered was there is a fuse. It's not resettable, by the way. So here's the house batteries, like I said, and it goes up to this cable here, which is marked U in a paint pen. They actually marked it paint pen. So there's a cover that goes on this. I have removed the cover, but as you can see, I have an empty spot right here. This is where the fuse was. And it looks just like that little fuse. I'll go grab the old one here in a second and show it to you, but it's a 150 amp fuse. And this is for the leveling jacks. This goes directly to the motor. And so I had 13.6 volts on one side and 0 volts on the other. So I knew that was blown. So there's the cover for it. And then I actually broke one of these tabs trying to get this cover off because this tab is way up here at the top, buried behind these cables, and you can't get to it. You have to release it from the back end to get this cover off, and I just couldn't get to it because the cable's in the way. So yeah, so that tab's broken, but at least I got to the fuse. We pulled it. I've got it. Went around yesterday in Whitney to a few auto parts stores and electrical supply stores, Ace Hardware, that kind of stuff, and nobody's got that fuse. But I was able to find it on Amazon, so I ordered a 5-pack, so I have some extras because there's 2 of them in there, as you can see. I'm supposed to be here on Friday. Today is, what, Tuesday? So hopefully by Friday, we'll have this thing back up and running, and then I can bring the slides in, bring the jacks up, and top off the fluid, because I do think it might be a little bit low on fluid, which might be causing the problem of the right front jack not going down in the first place. I did check it before we started leveling, and I mean, it's low, but it's just a little bit low. As you can tell right now, it's way down here, and there's the fill line, but that's because all the jacks are down, with the exception of the one, and the slides are out. So if you do check that, you want to make sure everything's retracted, because otherwise all that fluid's in the system instead of in the reservoir. Axle is unfazed by this at all. This doesn't bother you at all, does it, baby? No, not at all. All right, let's go grab this fuse so I can show you what it looks like. It's just a tiny little guy. Whew, man, my glasses get dark. Can't see nothing. Get some lights going here. All right, here it is. This little teeny tiny 150 amp fuse. Of course, it's got the 2 holes in it to mount to the studs, and then you put nuts on the studs. But it's got a clear back, and if you look at it real close, it's probably hard to tell on camera, but you can see that it's blown in there. When you do replace this, you just want to make sure you measure it and get the right size. Otherwise, it's not going to fit on the lugs. I couldn't get a part number off this. The only part number I saw, or the only numbers I saw, I ran and it didn't come up with anything. So hopefully this will fix it. I'll let you know on Friday. But we did make it to our winter destination. We're at least here after back to back epic travel days, and we actually witnessed some road rage in Fort Worth, which was crazy. I'll throw up the video up here in a second to show you that, because we thought we were going to see a fight and a wreck, and they almost hit us. They almost hit Clay. It was crazy. So basically this little black, I think a Volkswagen or something, basically just cut Clay off in traffic. Clay and him exchange words. You know, Clay honked his horn at him, they exchanged words, and then that was it. That was the end of that. But then all of a sudden this white car pops up out of nowhere, and the black car and the white car exchange words. We're not sure if they were already chasing each other, and that's why the little black car cut off Clay, as he was trying to escape or whatever. But you could see that the black car throws a water bottle at the white car, and then they go chasing after each other, and then they cut in front of us, which is on our video, and they cut off like a whole slew of traffic. I mean, it was just crazy. And luckily there was no wrecks, or nobody was shot, or no fights or anything like that. But that's the kind of crap we got to deal with on travel days. So we're glad to be sitting for a week and doing nothing and just chilling until we get to the Houston area next week. All right, so we're gonna do a little maintenance today. You guys have heard me pimp up Blue Tech water softening systems before on different videos, and man, we really stand behind this product. It's awesome. We absolutely love our Blue Tech system. We recently added the water softener about 3 months ago, and I already did a video on the salt regeneration process, and I'll pop a link up here for that. But today we're going to do the Backflush on it, which is very simple, but I'm going to show you how to do it. So here's our system right here. This is the 3-stage water filtration system coming right off the bib, and then it goes into our water softeners and then into the RV. And let me tell you what, the softening part for this water softener works amazing. We can absolutely tell the difference when we're showering. You can just feel it. A lot less water stains. You don't have to use as much soap or dishwasher detergent or any of that stuff. So we're loving it. But there is a little bit of maintenance you have to do. You do have to regenerate the salt in the system whenever you start not feeling that, you know, that oily feeling, that soft feeling. And then about every 3 months you want to do what's called a backflush. And basically what that's going to do is it's going to clean this out to allow this resin that's in here to do its job. So this resin that's inside this softener is actually what softens the water, and then the salt and then the pressure of the water when we do the backflush will actually clean all the gunk and grime off that resin, so the resin can do its job by softening the water. And what makes it so cool for this specific softener with the Smart Cap feature is I don't have to disassemble this softener at all, because all we have to do is change it to what we're doing. It's got 3 different settings. Soften, which it's on right now. When we do the salt regeneration, we just switch it to that setting, and today we're going to switch it to the backflush setting, which is going to cause the water to come out this little guy. So when we got our water softener, it came with this little hose right here that's capped, and this stays on all the time. But it also came with this longer one, and this is what we're going to use for the backflush and the salt regeneration. I also like this case that the water filter system came in. It's really nice and handy, so I just keep that hose in here. So there it is. That's all it is a little plastic piece of hose. All right, so all you got to do is just see this little ring right here. You just push it in towards the water softener, and then you can pull this out. So just push in, pull out. Then we'll grab this big guy here, stick that in, and it just sticks. It's just long, so it allows you to direct your water somewhere else, so you're not flooding your site basically. And now we're going to turn off the water. I'm going to relieve the pressure off of our system. Basically what I'm going to do is flip this water tank a bypass valve. This is how I fill up my fresh tank. I'm just going to turn that on for a couple seconds just to relieve the pressure off the system. Alright, that's good. Now we're going to come over here and switch this to backflush. And there we go. So now it's on backflush, so when I turn this water on, it should come out of here. And there it is. All right, that's it. So we're gonna let this go for 3 to 5 minutes, and I'm probably just gonna go to the 5 minutes. And like I said before, it's just breaking up all the gunk and stuff on that resin, so it allows it to do its job. So see you in 5 minutes. Guess I'll just water the rocks. So while we're waiting on the backflush process, I did want to show you this. You may have noticed that my gauge, it actually reads like 120 PSI right now. It's broken. So I think that it's my fault. We were in Colorado, and one night it was not supposed to get below freezing, so I had left it hooked up like an idiot, and then it did freeze, and then I think it actually froze the gauge and broke it. So I got a hold of Blue Tech, and as usual, their customer service is awesome. So they're gonna send me a new gauge and a new regulator, because we're not sure if the regulator is still good or not, because I can't adjust anything right now because the gauge won't move. So they're gonna send both of them out, and should get them next week, and I will show you all how to change the gauge, which is very, very simple. We'll try that first, see if that works. If that doesn't work, then we'll just change the gauge and the regulator and see which one broke. And yeah, my fault. Speaking of putting up your water stuff in freezing weather, so this Blue Tech 3-way actually has seals. I'm holding this water, so I'm trying to do this with one hand, but it actually has seals all in between these little stages here. If it freezes inside, it'll blow those seals out, so you gotta be careful. You just wanna put that stuff inside if it's even gonna get close to freezing. It's just not worth it. Just fill up your fresh tank with water, put your stuff inside, and then you don't have to worry about it. Because 5 minutes of putting that stuff inside could save you potentially a few bucks and some time fixing your problem that it causes. So since I am using a lot of water, and I'm really don't want to waste it, so I'm just going to use it to clean off my hose since it's here. It's pretty dirty, and raining and stuff, so maybe, you know, clean off a couple panels here and there, clean off the Blue Tech. Might as well not waste it, right? It's been 5 minutes, so we're gonna shut that off. Just gonna shut the water off here. Let that drain out. Go back over here. Turn it back to soften. There we go. And then we're gonna take this guy back off. Put the little guy back on. And that's it, folks. That's your Backflush for the Smart Cap Water Softener by Blue Tech. It's super, super easy. Again, you do this about every 3 months. And then in the salt regeneration video, I talked about doing it every month, but that's really just gonna depend on your situation, how often you're using the water, how hard the water is, and all that. Whenever you start losing the feeling of the softness of the water, that's when you wanna do the salt regeneration. Now, I did notice a discrepancy though when I did that salt regeneration video. So the YouTube video that's on Blue Tech's website actually states to use 13 ounces of normal table salt to do your regeneration process. But the paperwork that came with the softener itself says to use a whole box, which is 26 ounces. So I shot an email to Blue Tech. I'm hoping they'll answer me here real quick, and I'll throw it in this video and let you know. If not, then I will put it down in the comments when I get the answer. All right, it is the next day. We're out tooling around with Clay Marie again, and we're in Waco, Texas. We're actually at a national monument, Mammoth National Monument. Apparently they got a mammoth here, like the bones or something, skeletal remains. I'm not really sure, so we're gonna go see what this is all about. We weren't quite sure if they were gonna be open with the government shutdown. When we were in Colorado, we wanted to go to Mesa Verde National Park, but they were pretty much closed up because of the government shutdown. So looks like they are though.
But, you know, due to the shutdown, the one thing that is closed is the federal building, the building where you actually go in and see the mammoths. So we're not doing any tours right now. There's no, you don't even have
we can't see the mammoths. But the girls got their stamps, and that's why we're here.
Right, yeah.
Thank you very much for all this. Yeah, all of our hypercarnivores, anything that has more than 70% of its diet being meat.
Well, we didn't get to see the mammoth.
No.
But they do have my birthstone in here.
They do.
Check out all this amethyst. Isn't that pretty?
It's pretty.
Wow.
Sorry, guys.
Well, that was a little bit of a disappointment. We didn't get to see the mammoth. But, oh well. They still had some pretty interesting stuff, and it's worth a shop. But the mammoth is actually in the federal part, and this is like the state part, so this part's open, that part's not, something. So, dang government, get your crap together. All right, so now we are downtown Waco at the Magnolia Farms and Market. This is Chip and Joanna Gaines from Fixer Upper, popular show that we actually watched a lot when we first retired from the military and we were building our, what we thought was our dream home at the time. We watched Fixer Upper a lot, getting ideas when we were building our home, but look at that, there's the silos from the show. So that's pretty cool, and then, yeah, I guess we'll go see what they got to offer here. The girls actually came here last Christmas time frame.
Yeah.
We were in Conroe, so about a year ago. But me and Clay have not been here yet, so this is the first time. Wow, that's pretty cool history. So in 1953, an F5 tornado hit downtown Waco and destroyed a bunch of it. But these ones survived it. So built in 1950.
That's gonna be.
So is it like you remembered it?
Yeah, they rearranged a little bit.
Yeah.
Because this was all like back there.
It's like their Christmas display is a little different this year.
Yeah.
Really.
We're getting closer to Christmas, y'all. They even got Christmas music playing, and it's like the first week of November. Ooh, that's pretty cool. What is this thing? It's a Jeep.
It's a 53 Willie.
53 Willies. Babe, should we get rid of Monster? It's even the same color.
I mean,
You think this would ride as smooth when we're off-roading?
probably not.
But so he's getting food.
No, it's time for food, huh? They do have a bunch of food trucks and stuff here, so that's pretty cool. We might have to grab some grub. What'd you get, Clay?
We got some hot dogs.
Hot diggity dogs?
They have an Alabama dog with Conecuh sausage on it, but I don't think Conecuh sausage should be eaten in a hot dog. That's supposed to be eaten with eggs or
So are
by
those all
itself.
beef, or what are they?
They're all beef franks with just ketchup and mustard.
Oh, I got that one.